Speaking of education, and this actually isn't a setup, though no one is going to believe that we did not rehearse that before we came on. Tell me about this new concept that you have of transformational education.
Transformational education, to me, is the most important type of education, the single most important type of education you want to invest in for yourself and that you want to put your children through. So first, let me define what that is, right? Transformational education covers the education that many of our institutions forgot to teach us. It's about wisdom. It's about mindfulness. It's about taking care of your body, your mind, your health, your emotional states. It's about being a more conscious parent, being a more conscious lover. It's about how to deal with those days when you might wake up one day feeling depressed or sad, and how do you deal with that? Schools don't teach us that stuff. And here's why transformational education is so important. If you think about the human experience, what really matters is not so much your grades or the job that you have. All of these are means goals. They are a means to an end, right? But if you asked a human being to share with you the moments in life that they're most grateful for, all of those moments often deal with inner states. It's falling in love. It's carrying your first child in your arm. It's the joy of like accomplishing your first big win. And all of these are states of happiness, states of joy, states of human connectivity. Transformational education shows you how to get there faster without the bullshit, without the dogma, without the unnecessary toiling towards a degree and then that job that society says you need and then that career path, then breaking yourself working 9 to 5 on something you hate. And the reason it's so important is because the world is changing at an exponential rate. I was having dinner in Palo Alto a couple of years ago, and we were at this big event. It was an XPRIZE event, and you're familiar with XPRIZE, and all of a sudden, this dude sits in front of me. And this guy happens to be the Ray Kurzweil, right? Google's VP of technology, one of the most brilliant minds in technology. So we start talking, and he starts talking about artificial intelligence and where the world is going. And he shares with me these mind-blowing things. He says by 2029, on your smartphone, we will have the equivalent of Iron Man's Jarvis. So but you're a comic book geek, obviously, but for those who aren't comic book geeks, I'm sure you've seen Iron Man. And Iron Man, Tony Stark, he shows up at a skyscraper in New York, and there's this robot, this AI, that basically runs everything. Not a human being in sight, just a robot running everything. And he calls it Jarvis, right? Because if you have an AI running your life, you probably want to name it after a fancy British butler. So Ray Kurzweil says that by 2029, on our smartphone, all of us will have the equivalent of personalized artificial intelligence. You can call it anything you want, Rose, Jarvis, Nancy, whatever. But this AI will be able to run your life for you. All the knowledge that we are currently learning in school will be in our extended brain. And so what then should we be studying? Because history, geography, everything is going to be on our personalized AI. So the most important thing to teach people is transformation. It's to teach people how to expand their worldviews, to teach people how to know how to take care of their health, how to stay healthy, how to practice longevity practices, how to go within when they're feeling sad, how to practice meditation and mindfulness. This is the most important education. And it's a massively growing field. And what we are trying to do is bring order to it and bring together some cutting-edge tech and some really remarkable teachers and make this form of education blow up across the world. We're going to get it into every company in the Fortune 500, and our goal is to get it into 100 national schooling systems.
I love it, dude. And it's a huge goal. And I know that you're talking openly now about affecting 1 billion people, giving yourself 20 years to pull it off and having this huge shift in consciousness. I love that.